Hiya, fellas. Let's explore a metaphor. This is the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. For our purposes, this outcrop encompasses all video games. The Parthenon at her top, the sacred temple housing all of those 10 out of 10s. And right at the peak of this temple, one little green-tunicked fairy boy stands alone. Nothing compares to Zelda. Sky's the limit, boys! Let's discuss. The Legend of Zelda franchise has been with us for 20 mainline entries, spanning nearly 28 years, not to mention countless spin-offs, guest appearances, and even an upcoming movie. But what explains this staying power? Why such rabid fervor for each new release? Perhaps it could be explained by timing. The first Zelda was released in 1986 at the infancy of the medium, and both filled a niche as well as marinated longer in our collective consciousness. But the modern age is fickle, a successful jump from 2D to 3D unpromised, and reserves in the age bank are no guarantee against being forgotten.
Who are you with?
Perhaps it could be explained by the franchise becoming synonymous with quality and innovation. But innovation can be so radical in the short term, or incremental over a long period of time, that what a franchise becomes is an illusion of what it once was. The real challenge then becomes how to remain true to the spirit of a franchise without making it stale, unrecognizable, or obsolete. So what sets Zelda apart? Zelda's story is couched in something timeless. More accurately, it's the story's structure. Here's the difference. Link leaves the forest, meets Zelda, pulls the Master Sword, unlocks the sages, and defeats Ganondorf. That's the story. The structure is a step removed from that. It's the template on which the story is arranged. Particular stories across games can range widely, but structurally, at its heart, Zelda is the quintessential hero's journey. The hero's journey is a story structure that has persisted across ages, across cultures, and across storytelling mediums. It's why we still know this farm boy several thousand years later. It's why this farm boy is still a cultural hero. And it's why we're still talking about this farm boy. Wait. The staying power of Zelda is the same as the staying power of Hercules, of Luke Skywalker. That structure unearths our deeply ingrained desire to be or become heroic, and to approach our lives as an adventure. In this way, The Legend of Zelda, like Star Wars, is modern mythology. The foundation of the Zelda experience is built on this timeless structure. But what elevates Zelda's hero's journey from other forms of media is gaming's unique ability to insert us into the narrative, to embody the hero. This is our narrative Acropolis. Atop this rock, and what allows the franchise to be rich and varied, are the themes explored within each individual game. This is the skeleton which forms our Parthenon. It's why games with identical story structures can deal with such divergent themes. Even more impressive, the Zelda franchise has explored nuanced and sophisticated themes without overcomplicating them. Themes like growing up, loss, moving beyond the past, responsibility, and purpose. Themes we may encounter in the adventure of our own lives. The final piece, what decorates the structure and themes, is of course the lore. Goddesses and imprisoning wars and triforces, master swords, Zoras, Gorons, Gerudo, Rito. These and many more are the elements that invest us in this world and make the games feel alive and connected. This is a much more malleable aspect of the storytelling. Strange, new, interesting, and unique elements can be added to the world. Hell, even new worlds can be added. Lore is the tinder that fuels the speculative fire. It's what brings us back to these games. It's why the original Star Wars trilogy spawned an entire expanded universe. I think about gameplay in the same three-tiered metaphor as the story. But now, let's start with a specific end and work our way out to broader ideas. To reuse our metaphor, what decorates our gameplay Parthenon are the individual items that allow us to both combat enemies and solve puzzles. Similar to the lore, a small selection of unique items are what spice up a particular entry's gameplay. It's why we remember the Big Goron sword, double claw shot, and seed shooter. the ball and chain, spinner, and Rock's Feather, the Zora armor, Ocarina, and Wind Waker. Much like lore reinterpreted across different themes, so too can the same items appear in different gameplay worlds, recontextualized in a way that feels familiar but fresh. But never before seen items also open up new gameplay possibilities. In fact, a healthy balance of new items mixed among a revolving door of classics seems like a great solution. Next then is our Parthenon's gameplay skeleton. This is the main gameplay hook that makes each game unique. It is the way in which we traverse the world as we become the hero. It's the child and adult Hyrule you encounter in Ocarina of Time, the light and dark world of A Link to the Past, the masks in Majora's Mask, sailing on the Great Sea in Wind Waker, the climbing of Breath of the Wild. The sky is literally the limit. The variety in gameplay hooks is why the franchise can tread similar narrative ground without exhausting its resources. And now, the bedrock of the Zelda gameplay experience. Some may have seen this coming. Obviously, the core tenet of Zelda is exploration. This is not up for debate. In fact, the new Wild Era games were specifically designed to recapture the explorative elements of the original. However, it does not end there. Also found in the original and rarely mentioned in discussions about recapturing the spirit of Zelda are what the original game called labyrinths, but what we recognize as, you guessed it, dungeons. This may be controversial, but traditional, intricate puzzle box dungeons are also Zelda. They are as integral to the franchise as exploration, and they actually serve to balance the game. In an overworld that is wide open, the dungeons focus your attention. If we invoke another metaphor, exploring the overworld is weaving a thread. Completing dungeons is untying a knot. Both supply the material to create a brilliant tapestry, but that tapestry is better when we get to do both. The long and short of it, what makes Zelda unmatched? First, it's the story, structured specifically as a hero's journey, through which a mature yet simple narrative theme is explored that incorporates captivating lore to further deepen both the narrative within the game and across games. And gameplay structured specifically to explore a varied overworld containing puzzle box dungeons, in which a unique mechanic is used to maneuver that incorporates a select few old and new items to further deepen both the gameplay within the game and across games. What's great about this is you can start with a story idea and work gameplay around it, or start with a gameplay idea and mold it to the hero's journey structure, and have a flow of one informing the other until they're properly cohesive. Combine that with Nintendo's knack for quality and innovation, and a game franchise can become a legend all its own. So, it's just that simple. Do you agree? Is this the rock on which Nintendo built Zelda? Or am I more delusional than usual? Sound off in the comments. Bye-bye!